Yes, 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 yes. We back in the building with another podcast vlog, and this is Rod Doe Podcast Vlog, and I'm your host, Han 5000. We tapping in part two, prison calls, and this one right here, I'll be doing a lot of prison call interviews throughout 2025, but this one right here is like kind of close to home. Like one of my prison interviews was my brother Ricky Horton. Another one was my man Mark Hollingsworth. Ricky Horton, he been locked up for about 12 years. Mark Hollingsworth been locked up since 98. My man Dollar, he been locked up since like 2015. Who else I did? 448 Greek. He just caught a little time. So, I like to dedicate this to this because I believe service to humanity is the best work of life. And a lot of people tend to forget individuals behind the door, especially when they got real healthy sentences. So, I said, I do a lot of hip hop interviews. I do a lot of interviews about this and that. And I said, I just want to do more interviews that are dedicated to the culture. You know what I'm saying? Dedicated to my people where I come from. Because for years and years and years, I couldn't stay from behind those doors and I learned my lessons. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to give back, and this is one of my give back moments. Man, when I do these jail calls. So just to get y'all up to date, what I mean? Ain't even no hold up in it. I couldn't even up to date y'all, but here we go. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. The Malcolm from Jordan story part two. An inmate at make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all share this video. This call will be recorded and monitored. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now. To accept this call, press 0 now. To decline this, thank you for using Global Tel Link. Bro. What up? What up? What up, bro? How you feel? What's your mentality? How you feel? Cool, man. Stand on the way another day. Oh man, that's blessed, man. Hey, listen, man, we had a few people tap in last time, man. Just to put everybody up on, I got Malcolm Jordan on the phone. He's currently serving a life sentence. He want to raise awareness for the reason why he's in jail, and it's a process of him getting out, just like a lot of brothers. But the first part, we got to meet him as a person, a little bit about his upbringing and where he come from, and now he about to tell us a little bit about the first day that they took his freedom away from him. And we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna leave it open for questions and anybody that want to ask questions. So, bro, I want you to take me to the day that you got arrested. I mean, you can say hi to everybody too, man. Any shout outs you want to do before we get started? Yeah, definitely shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Yeah, so hey, bro, take me back to that day. I mean, well, first day I got booked for, I ain't really know nothing about like how to read charge papers and paperwork and shit like that. This is my first time being locked up with some shit like that. When I first got locked up, I initially got locked up. Speak up a little bit more though, bro. I know your headphones a little, so they can hear. Can y'all hear him clear out there? Wait for somebody to tell me, but they can hear you though. Go ahead, finish. Yeah, but when I first got locked up, it was initially for attempt murder. So as I'm reading the charge papers, like I'm figuring stuff out, bro. I'm figuring out what's going on with what. Then I wind up getting rebooked for the actual murder with them. Mind you, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what they talk about. I'm pulling shadows, none of that shit. So I'm all figuring this shit out, like as I'm getting my paperwork, like as I'm getting my motion, whatever. So the first attorney that I had a panel attorney at first. So me not knowing shit, I'm thinking that the panel attorney is not a real lawyer for it. So when they come see me, I'm explaining everything to her about the case or whatever, and me not knowing shit, I'm just thinking that like she just supposed to automatically already know this shit for real. I'm not knowing that she gonna go back and do her own research. The lady wound up coming back to see me like 8 months after the first time I seen her. So everything that I told her on the first visit, she just coming back, she just telling me the shit like, yeah, I remember you was telling me about this. That turned out to be right. This, that, and the third. So I'm in my mind, I'm like, man, this lady slow as shit. Like, she don't know what she doing for real because I told her this shit like 8-9 months ago. She just getting back with me and telling me all the shit that I told her, right? So I wound up not going with the panel attorney, but I wound up firing attorney off of the case for it, hiring bullshit ass motherfucking lawyer that I hired for it. Whole time.
What's that lawyer name? Let us know that lawyer name though. What was that? After you fired your family, what he's saying is he fired this panel attorney and he hired the lawyer.
The panel attorney that I actually had, her name is Beverly Sandford. I wound up firing her and hiring the nigga Leslie Steinford. Once I hired him, like, this nigga didn't do nothing for him. Like, you know, I got this shit in black and white. Yo didn't file, like, no motions. Yo didn't do no paperwork, no nothing. So that's what really put me in, like, the fucked up predicament. But me not knowing shit for, like, every time that I might talk to him or every time that I might see him for real, he telling me about, like, how the state, they don't got no evidence or how he gonna go about it like this or go about it like that. Whole time, you're not doing nothing for it. Like, he didn't file no motion. None of that shit about the whole case.
That's crazy because I want people to be aware of that too before you get into it. That what he's saying is that he had a panel attorney, and a panel attorney is a lawyer that the state give you when they feel as though you have a certain charge or a bunch of co-defendants. So they gave him a panel attorney where he realized, towards the end of his process of the trial, is that the panel attorney had his best interests at heart, but she got fired. And he fired her because he didn't think she was working because she ain't come see him in 8 months. And then he hired a lawyer, a Baltimore lawyer that was like a popular lawyer in the 90s by the name of Leslie Stein, who took his family money, their hard-earned money that they put together, and took their money and went in the courtroom and didn't represent this man the way he was. So start with your motions trial, boo. So now you got Leslie Stein's. He didn't file things, but now you got to prepare to go in the courtroom. And your motion is the motion hearings before you pick 12, right?
Well, the first thing you did when we went in there was waive motion eliminated for real. Come to find out, that was the hearing where I guess if it was any evidence that we didn't approve of, we were supposed to challenge the shit right there. That was the first thing you did was waive that. And it's crazy for real because at the time, I didn't know what the fuck a motion to eliminate was for real, but I remember that shit like, because that's something that he waived. I'm in my mind like, how the fuck is you waiving anything for real? Like, I ain't never discussed nothing about me waiving nothing for real. So I always kept that shit in mind. That was the first thing you did, waive that shit for real. So I really didn't have like no motion for real. So all of the evidence, the state kind of like seeing the shit being lined up. Like once he didn't like call certain people, like once he wasn't on top of certain shit, they kind of knew like what they can get over with for it because it's like at the motion hearing, he was supposed to challenge certain shit. If certain shit would have got challenged, 9 times out of 10 probably wouldn't have came in. But then as though he didn't challenge it off the break, they probably saying this shit like, okay, well if he ain't catch that, I know he ain't gonna catch this for it. This how they get in certain little shit in it.
Right.
Like that's one of my issues now for it. It's really not nothing major to put out there for it, but it's basically like you can't agree for some shit to come in and then once the state bring it up, you say objection to it. Like you can't object to it. You can't agree for some shit to come in and then turn around and object to it for like so that's the type bullshit he was on for.
That's a technical foul right there. He waived your motion here, motion to suppress evidence. Like once you get a motion to suppress evidence, that's a lot of 50% of cases get tossed out because there's not enough evidence to go to trial.
Yeah, that's how my shit really was for it. Just didn't do what he was supposed to do for it. Like even if I didn't get a lawyer, if I had a public defender, I ain't need no motherfucker that was like amazing lawyer or nothing like that. I just need a regular motherfucker that do their job.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
I respect that. So you pick your 12. What was that process like for everybody that never went to trial, picking 12? You know, tell them what that means.
I mean, well, picking the 12 for real, that's basically like the motherfuckers who going to be that's going to be judging you for real. Like even when we was picking 12, he was picking certain people for real. It was like he was in the grid with the state for real because he was picking certain people. And I'm telling them like, nah, I don't want that person to be on the jury. I don't want that person to be on there. And he telling me for real like, no, I think that person gonna be good and shit like that for real. So he basically like, I'm trying to tell him certain shit. He basically doing what he wanted to do. I can't really outright say nothing for real because they keep shutting me down for real. Like, they keep telling me if I want to speak, I gotta go through my lawyer to say something. So that's how that shit was for real. Like me picking the 12. I mean, I can't really explain the feeling of it for real. All that shit just like not a good fit. Not all that shit not a good feeling.
Oh yeah, I know, man. But I never picked 12 because I never had that much heart. I just went on and capped out. Hey, give me what they told. Okay, let me get this and get out the way. I copped to my 15-year bit and my 7 years consecutive. So I said, man, I ain't, I might can beat it, but I ain't got time to beat it. Plus, I felt like me just being the way I was thinking when I was 25, 24. I'm thinking like, man, I got away with so much stuff. They got me. I'm gonna go ahead and lay down. You know what I mean? So you started trial. So now let me get this good understanding that now after you picked the trial, you didn't know what a motion to suppress evidence hearing was, right?
No, not at first.
So he ain't know. So that's a strike right there. He waived something that you didn't have a knowledge of because it would be like, yo, it's like, yo, how you going to tell him you waving something and I don't even know what that is. That's serious. But I'm glad you said that because a lot of young guys gotta understand this ain't even a public defender. Everybody always say they don't want to go to court with public defenders and all this and this gibberish. But now you got to pay the attorney who don't got your best interest at heart. That's just how crooked this world is. So you got to think twice before you man his situation. He's charged for something that he didn't do. You get what I'm saying? But in a lot of situations, you got to think before you move out here because your peoples can give up 10 to 20 or 30,000 to a dude that don't got your best interest at heart. So all right, man, go ahead and tell me to start with the first day of trial, opening arguments. What was your feeling like? Now you picked your 12, you suited up, and you ready to go. Was you going in the courtroom with confidence because you know you didn't do this, and it's like in your mind, there's no way they could find me guilty of this? Or was you nervous going in there thinking like, man, this might go left?
I mean, at this point, I'm nervous for it because from what I'm reading in the paperwork, from like the case that they got, I'm confused at how the fuck I even made it in this motherfucker with this shit for real. Like,
right.
At this point, I'm nervous for real. Like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah. So first day of trial or whatever, we already picked the 12 for first day of trial, opening arguments for real. They get the land their case out for real. So I'm waiting for them to get down to the evidence for real. Like I'm trying to hear how they gonna put this shit together.
Mm-hmm.
So they get to talking about shit that don't got nothing to do with nothing for real. So I'm telling my lawyer, like, man, listen, I don't know what they talking about for real. So we approach the bench. He tell judge that shit. He like, man, well, what they talking about right now, I have no knowledge of. So the judge look at the state like, well, how he don't got no knowledge of what y'all talking about? The state looking back at them like, man, I don't know how he don't got no knowledge of it because everything we talking about, we put it in the paperwork for him, like he should have it. So now the judge looking back at him for it, he just looking dumb now. So he says back. So they let the state continue for real. Man, they get to talking about some shit that don't got nothing to do with what I'm on trial for real, but they saying like they want to make it connect. So this is some of the shit that my lawyer was supposed to challenge before this shit was even start being talked about. But then, though he didn't challenge at the motion hearing, they already talking about the shit in court now. So now the judge is telling the state, like, man, you can go ahead and get into it, but try not to get too far into it. Man, they get to talking about some whole other shit that don't have nothing to do with me or what I'm on trial for or none of that. And they saying that they is going to make this shit connect for real. The whole time they never made the shit connect. They just was in there telling the jury about a bunch of other shit that was going on.
So you saying the open arguments wasn't even about the case in the beginning?
Right.
That's tough. That's tough. How many days did your trial last?
My trial was probably like 2 weeks, yo. They wind up getting the consent. They wind up starting trial. Then they got like a 2.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
They got like a 2-week postponement in the middle of trial, but it's really not a postponement, so they call it a continuance. They was having trouble with something about their witness or something. So they gave the state a 2 weeks of continuance, like 2-3 days after I started trial.
Wow.
So I started, then we was on pause for like 2 weeks, and we started again.
Wow, man. Hey, this is going on, man. He got a couple more clips. Hey, hang up and just, call right back so we can get into it because the people want to know. So, yeah. So this is Malcolm Jordan. He's currently incarcerated in North Branch Correctional Facility. He's serving a life plus sentence, and he just, we know where he come from. He's just telling you how this trial thing work and how you could think you going in there and you could lose. He gonna call right back in 1 second. You get what I'm saying? But he gonna hit us right back. But you can go to trial and you can pay for attorney and you can lose, because I ain't gonna lie. All my times I copped out with a lawyer. You know what I mean? My last cop out with a lawyer, I had to get in the middle of it and tell the lawyer, hold up, wait a minute, miss. Listen, I got 8 years on a violation of probation, 4 years on a violation of parole. They giving me the 4 on a violation of parole. So I'm only taking a year today. I don't know about no 30 months. I don't know nothing about nothing. The judge looked at me like I was crazy. So you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Then he gave me a turn-in date. So I'm like, man, this lady, I done paid this lady. She talking some back to talking about getting the sentence down to 18 months. Baby, I ain't doing no 18 months. Oh, I got to, if you ever been locked up for parole and, you know what I'm saying, you out, they got that time waiting on you. I just pleaded guilty to a distribution of cocaine charge. You know what I mean? So here we go. Let's get back into it.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call.
Yeah,
This
so
call is from
I pleaded to a cocaine charge, man, and the lady was trying to give me 30 months. No, sir.
Maryland Correctional
30 months. What I
Facility.
pay you for?
This call will be
Get
recorded
me
and
off for at least a
monitored.
slug.
If you wish to block any future calls of this
These
nature,
lawyers
dial
crazy.
7 now. To accept this call, press 0 now. To decline this call, thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Yes, we back. So go ahead and finish, man. Go ahead and finish. Where did we leave off at? If y'all paying attention in the comment box right now, where did we leave off at? Just let me know if you really listening to my brother. So you said they did the continuation. We got into that. It lasted 2 weeks. I asked you about that. Now on the first day is open arguments. Now let's get into it after the continuation and you back in the courtroom. Let's go.
Yeah, so basically what it boils down to for real is they can't even prove the dude that they trying to say like I supposed to shot or whatever. They can't even prove that I walked past this motherfucker on the street.
Right.
Like, they basically went in there and started talking about some other shit and tried to make it seem like they try to use that like as a motive or some shit. They basically straight up told the judge, they say, man, well, we don't got no evidence, but we think that this might be about X, Y, and Z. Like they never really showed no evidence of why they think this shit transpired for real. Like all this shit was about like they basically was going off of hearsay for like even down to my co-defendant for real. Like the dude that they tried to bring in there and say that's me on the camera, whatever the case may be for real.
Mm-hmm.
he told him, he like, man, I gotta be honest with you, bro. Like, the only way I even know about this dude is because somebody told me. So they basically they case off of what motherfuckers was saying about me, like what he was saying and what the other witness was saying. For other than that, there's really no evidence in this case. It's nothing physical.
Mm-hmm. So that was on day 2 that they came with the witness.
No, I think that was more. That was probably about day 3 or 4 that they started coming with the witnesses. So they put like the experts on, the police and shit like that for real. Then they came with the state witness. Then they put my co-defendant up there.
Dang. So you got a co-defendant on this case? I didn't know you had a co-defendant.
That's the crazy part for real. Like, I got, with this shit, I got a first-degree murder and I got a conspiracy to commit murder.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my co-defendant, our trials was separate for real. Like, he went to trial for me. He was tried with the same shit for he had the conspiracy and the murder with him. He beat the conspiracy and the murder, and they charged him with the handgun shit. He wound up giving his time. I think he wound up having like 15 or 18 years or something. He wound up giving his shit back. He went in the prison system 2 years for real. He gave his shit back. I got a conspiracy with no co-defendant for real. Like, that was something that my lawyer was trying to address when I was in the court. Like, he had asked me, like, man, well, conspiracy is a crime known to be committed, whether the person is known or unknown for real. Like, he was explaining how a person can be charged with a conspiracy and they not know who the other person is.
Mm-hmm.
But he was saying, like, well, in my case, y'all know who the other person is. That person was charged. He was found not guilty for it.
Mm-hmm.
So being as though it's only them two in the case, I can't conspire by myself.
Right.
Like, he was found not guilty. This charge of conspiracy shouldn't even be on the verdict sheet for y'all to send to the jury for it. They kept that shit on there for real.
That's crazy.
Jury, so I got a conspiracy with no co-defendant.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And now, and you know what I'm saying? We got part 3 coming in the week, but we still on top of this. And I'm talking to the people, and I read his paperwork. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's right here. You know what I mean? I read it. It's like it's a booklet. You get what I'm saying? It ain't really a lot. You know what I'm saying? So everything that he's saying this is gonna be in a whole nother episode. Everything he's saying is right here. It's right here. You know what I'm saying? It's right here. But go ahead and finish, bro. So when you felt like, I'm gonna get into this, right? You know what I mean? Cause we got a lot to talk about. I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna ask some questions for the people. During trial, did you feel at any point that he was throwing you?
You said, did I feel?
Did you feel like your lawyer was throwing you? Like, yo, he not doing his job and fucking get found guilty if he don't tighten up in this trial?
I mean, yeah, as soon as we started for real and he started talking about he didn't know about shit and they pointed shit out in the paperwork, like, well, shit, it was right there for her. I don't know how you don't know about it for real. Once it started off like that, I knew on the break, I'm like, man, well, it's not good for real. Then, like, it was just like the whole process for real. And even still with all of that shit, it still, like, took them, like, 2 days to deliberate for real. So if he would have just did what he was supposed to do for real, like, I don't think we would have even started trial, yo. Like, that's how fucked up the case was.
And your co-defendant, he didn't testify against you, did he?
Now, it's crazy for real. They did bring him in there, and he did point me out and say that I'm the person, but in the same breath, he say that the only way he know about me is because somebody told him. So,
that's admissible. They would have threw that out with the right lawyer. Hold up, is it him or somebody told you it's him? That's serious right there. Is it him or did somebody tell you it's him? know what I mean? I understand that. Look, I'm about to turn into a defense lawyer because I sat through my brother trial, and the lawyer was just saying, man, when you saying, oh, this is the person, then you saying, only way I know about him is they told him, man, you playing with somebody's life if these people find him guilty in here. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and finish.
Yeah, yeah, but that's basically what it was for real. Like, I was asking about that shit recently, so I'm like, man, well, that shit got to stand for something. Bro. I'm trying to fit. So a lot of shit would have been sound like even Lord shit like that, with Lord statements and shit like that.
Right.
If that shit would have been brought up at like the motion hearing and we would have like challenging that type of shit, this shit probably wouldn't even got started for you. Like, it's not even just that for like, it's a lot of other shit that I really can't get into for real that happened for you.
Right.
Like, if they would have just spoke on that type of shit before we started, that shit wouldn't have probably started.
So I can't, I just can't imagine because I can't imagine sitting there. And I watch court TV all the time. And I seen some trials. And one trial that I sat through the whole trial was my brother. And he got conspiracy. He got life for conspiracy to commit murder. And he didn't have no co-defendants. And I was confused with that. Like, how you conspire to do something with somebody, but I'm the only one being charged. You know what I mean? I ain't understand that. And you know what I'm saying? I didn't understand that. And I sat through his whole trial. That didn't make sense to me.
Well, with the conspiracy, they can say that like they know that it was another person, but they don't know who the other person is.
That
like,
don't make sense.
They can do shit like that. Like they can say you was calling this person or you was texting this person, but we don't know who that other person is.
I used to get charged with indictments all the time. And I used to get into, from around the way, I used to get hit with indictments all the time. They used to have me on people's houses that I never been in. They used to be saying I conspired with this and that one. And I always was ready for them because I understood, what I was doing when I was in the street. So I was ready for them. Like, bro, I'm never copping to a conspiracy because I ain't conspired with nobody to do nothing. Y'all, and that's one of the hardest things to prove. You got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that I woke up in the morning and me and him hooked up and bagged up drugs together, and we took these drugs to Ricestown, Virginia Avenue to sell them together. Prove it. Prove we don't live together. We don't got nothing in common, but you telling me that we conspired to sell drugs. I get it. I don't understand how that my brother got convicted of that, and I don't understand how you got convicted of that.
Even with them bringing a dude in there for real and them giving him the dude, they theory of what they tried to say happened contradicted what their own witness was saying. Like, it was never no testimony throughout the trial on no side about a conspiracy. Like, that never came up for real. Like, my lawyer said something about that at the end of the trial for real, but I guess he probably ain't go about it the right way for real, whatever it be. But it was never no talking throughout the whole case about nothing about a conspiracy. Mm-hmm. There's no evidence of that for me. So that's not nothing that I'm trying to get. I'm trying to fabricate or nothing like that for. Like, that's just what it was throughout the trial.
Yeah, you charged with a ghost co-defendant. Like, that don't make no sense. And then your co-defendant, they found your co-defendant not guilty. They supposed to found you not guilty.
Right, that's what I was going to say. So I wouldn't say like he a ghost co-defendant. They actually locked him up and charged him with this shit. He just was found not guilty. Then the handgun shit that they tried to charge him for, that shit don't make no sense for real. Like, they saying that he didn't have a handgun on him, but he had knowledge of somebody having a handgun on him.
That's vicious.
He gave the compact for that because the state can't prove that he had knowledge of what's under somebody else's shirt.
Right.
So all this shit is just ass backwards, yo.
No, I see. I read it. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah, at some point in time, they gonna have to address this shit. But I just wanted to make sure I got all my shit together because they shot my first demonstration down, like I was telling you.
And what that was for people that don't know.
In my mind,
What that was, they shot down the first time after you. We got hold up, you taking this too far. So, cause you know it be people that sing here. You got people tapping in, and they be certain people want to lose. Shout out to Charlene too. She said my son got 103 years. The lawyer was 25,000. They don't give a. You know what I mean? I'm just reading some of the comments, and this lawyer, his family paid for. Yes. You getting what I'm saying? I'm just reading the comments, bulls. Anybody holler at you? Somebody say, "What's good, bro? Hi, bro. Hey." You get what I'm saying? A few people reached out to you. So I want to get into this before we get into that part. So now you going to the trial, and we can forward a little bit. So now, you know, the closing arguments. You know what I mean? Was you comfortable with your lawyer closing arguments? Did you feel like we might win this? And when he did his closing arguments.
No, because he didn't like the witness that they put on the stand, which I was trying to tell him for real, like, man, the witness basically only came to court because they was benefiting for it. And the state tried to present the witness like they was only coming in there because they was doing the right thing.
Oh yeah.
So I was trying to explain to him how to go. Yo didn't really impeach the witness for it. He just got up there and went back and forth for it. Like he didn't really do nothing for it. That's another thing for it. Like it's all about when the jury go back to deliberate, it's all about the exhibits for real that the state put in and the exhibits that the defense put in, like exhibit A, exhibit B, whatever the case. The state only sent the jury back there with exhibits for real. Like my lawyer didn't put nothing in. So you sending the jury back there to deliberate with only the state shit, you making that shit one-sided off the rip before they even get back there. Like you're not even sending them back there with no evidence for them to look at as far as our point of view. They're only going back there with shit to look at from a state point of view for real.
That's tough.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Wow. Hey, we got more to come, man. You calling right back, or you getting sister calls so we can have a whole joint.
Yeah. I'm about to get sister calls. We had a whole joint.
All right, bet. We waiting on you.
All right, bet.
All right. You ain't call right back, y'all. Whew. Now this is I have to honestly say it's mind blowing. Because like yo, when you young, right? You know what I'm saying? When you my age now, you can kind of handle these lawyers and kind of be like, yo, get my people their money back, bro. I ain't really playing with you. But when you young, you don't really know. And that's the thing that I be wanting to get out there. Like when you young, you don't really know. And when I was young, bro, I'm here to tell you, I'm hands down believed in Jet. I believed in, man, long as you got some paper put up with your people, got some paper, yo, you get a lawyer. Because all I heard about, bro, so court 30 years, he gave his time back. His Wishcom put up 25,000. So I had that mentality outside, like, shit, I'm gonna get a lawyer no matter what I gotta do. If they give me a bail and I get my grandmother and them help me get out of jail, because I ain't afraid to tell you, my grandmother bail me out, family bail you out. Because them niggas on the streets, you love them to death, they the homies, but ain't putting up when them a lot of dudes ain't putting up when them cuffs go behind your back. But anyway, grandma bail you out, you go back to the block, you make your lawyer money. So I used to really get a police hell and tell them, like, man, I don't care, I'm gonna have a lawyer. I'm here to tell you, boy, you can get in some things where you know they just taking the money and then lawyers be bombarded with so many cases, bro. You just don't know if they keeping it real. That's so scary when you fighting for your life. You got a drug charge or something that you can only end up with 5 to 10 years. You know, you ain't really tripping off of that. You know, they say in certain crimes when you out in the streets that 15 years is like a gentleman's bet. So you ain't really tripping off all that. You get what I'm saying? Hello, I'm on here. Bro, back. You back?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and finish.
Where we left off at?
We left off at when you said they was deliberating. We in the deliberation part.
Oh yeah. So I never
you said the jury go off for exhibits. Yeah, you said the lawyer go off
I
exhibits.
really ain't feel like my lawyer did. Yeah, I really ain't feel like he did what he was supposed to do for her. Like, you really look at what he did as far as black and white, really didn't do nothing for her. Like, lawyers supposed to like have like create a defense for as far as like
Yeah.
getting in there and going back and forth with the people. That was about it for her. Like, he ain't call nobody as no witnesses or none of that for her. That's a
Right.
whole another story for like it's one person that's on the list. If you call that one person in there, case over with. In the state, that's another thing for like they probably seen that was one part that he was missing. Like, well, damn, he don't got this one person on his witness list. He missing that. He missing the whole case. There's one person that's on the witness list. If he called, case over with. Like, it's not even nothing to talk about.
Dang. Yeah, I know what you sent me. I know exactly what you talked about, but we don't want to let them state cocksuckers know because this Glock is definitely off safety, and Malcolm Jordan is coming to fight. And his family is fighting with him. His friends is fighting with him. Some people in the community is fighting with him. Y'all done gave the wrong man the wrong time, bro. And his family's gonna fight to the end. And that's what I love about your family. That's what I love about the guys. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna fight with you to the end, and that's a plus thing, bro. They're gonna fight with them to the end. They not letting their people go, die like that. And that's very important. If you got somebody that's incarcerated and got a large amount of time, bro, go check up on them, man. I promise you, bro, it don't cost that much to keep a little money on the phone. So listen, so he in there deliberating. They call you out. The jury with the verdict. Walk me through.
I mean, well, it took them like 2 days to come back with a deliberation for it. They finally do come back. Callers in there, you already know, like, once they come back with the verdict for it, they say that it's guilty. Like, that shit just like numb a nigga for real. Like, I really can't explain that clearly.
Shit, I understand. I mean, you can't explain it, but just to know, like, you got to go up there, and then they found you guilty on all charges. So for those who don't know, and for the youth, because I got a lot of younger guys that watch my channel. So now you found guilty, and I know I can honestly walk you through that feeling because I never caught what you caught, but at the time when I caught it, I had 22 years off, spent about 14 years, 5 years probation. At the time when I caught it, I thought it was the end of the road. I'm 25 years old, and people talking about 14 years. What? Y'all crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I know that empty feeling out there, but then you got to face them. So just walk me to the sentencing day.
I mean, well, I definitely wasn't in that mind state like it was over. Crazy for real, because as I was going to trial, it actually was a dude that was coming from, and I ain't sure if he was up here, ECR or what, but it actually was a dude that had gave his time back. Nigga was down there representing himself for real.
Okay. So he was letting you know the fight ain't never over.
It ain't never over. Coming from saying that, and it's crazy because he was just telling me his experience as like he was coming through for, like he was representing himself, and he had went in front of like the head judge, the administrative judge, and he was telling me on my way in there, he like, man, listen, if you ain't knowing your shit, you don't know that shit, they gonna play games with you. And he was telling me how he went in there and he had spoke about some shit. Mm-hmm. And the judge cut his brain for it. The judge played bet with him like, oh, interlocutory appeal. I ain't familiar with that. Like, what is that? And he made the nigga tell him like what type of appeal it was. The nigga was saying like, man, if I ain't know that shit, I would have played bet like he ain't know that shit. So yeah, but I definitely wasn't never in the mind state like those for him because I was seeing dudes like besides the one dude I was telling you about was another group of dudes that was on his head. That was like probably they second or third time giving their time back. Mm-hmm. So always like.
So that gave you motivation in the process of going up there to get sentenced. You in a bullpen with guys that got the time, been sitting on, and they basically telling you, hey, listen, you get that time, don't go lay down in there, man, because you need to know what these people talking about the next time around. So if you'd have had that knowledge, Leslie couldn't have did what he did, because you would have been telling them, no, this what you gonna say, because this is what I paid you for. And a lot of people gotta understand that lawyers work for you. Stop going in there just saying, here go my money and go to work. No, sir. No, sir. Because when you're going there and you want it, and like Malcolm Jordan, he didn't know certain things. You get what I'm saying? He wasn't knowledgeable of certain things. So that man just in there doing anything, and he looking as though we know it's wrong, but we don't know, because it's like, yo, if I say he wrong, I think he wrong, but he gets so much money for doing this. And I felt like he just took that money, man, for vacation. Because and it should be, and Charlene just said that. She said she's fighting the Virginia Bar Association right now for her husband and son. Lawyers dogged him. You know what I mean? Because what you're saying is he didn't do his job. That was what they call that, misrepresentation of counsel.
Effective assistance account.
Effectual assistance accounts. I seen that in your drink. You know what I mean? Not to get into that because we got to save something for part 3, but I seen that in your joint. You know what I mean? So now though, you lost your initial. What that mean? What is the initial?
My direct
appeal, yeah.
That's more so where they talking about what the courts did wrong, like what the judge did wrong and shit like that for real. So that threw me for a loop too. That's what made me really slow down for it, because my co-defendant gave his shit back on his direct appeal.
Right.
Now, case is the same for her. I was just looking at it like, oh shit, if he give his shit back on his direct appeal, I should be right behind him for real. Like, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
And he gave his shit back, and I didn't. So that made me really like slow down and dive into that shit.
Start studying, right?
Like, man, something that I'm missing, something not adding up.
Right.
When I dive into them, I see that the way they raised the issues in his shit was different from the way they raised the issues in my shit. It definitely pointing out how the whole case is contradicting itself for real, like how they might be saying one thing in my case, but they saying something different in his case.
What it supposed to be the
but
same
thing? Say it again.
Well, y'all was charged with the exact same thing, same crime, same time and day.
Right. Like they trying to say everything got like the same basis, everything is coming from the same thing. This is the reasons why they charged with X, Y, and Z. But when they go to start breaking the shit down, it's two different things in two different cases. For like the shit, it really just don't make sense for it when you get into it.
Yeah. That's vicious. Charlene said this is one person that's been tapping with us the whole way. She said Maryland has a lawyer client protection fund. Also, maybe his family can look into and get their money back. Yeah, they saying you should get your money back from Leslie Stein. And that's something that you should tell your teacher, your sister, to get on top of it, because I don't feel like they should be taking all that money, bro. And you just saying, and then because one thing they got in court is what they call it when you get your transcripts of your trial. So in your transcript is going to indicate what he did and what he didn't do. You know what I mean? I feel like they shouldn't just be able to run with that money. What did he say to you after you got found guilty? That's what I want to know.
I mean, he did tell me, he like, man, you got some real issues on the field. He did tell me that.
Okay. So he know you gonna give it back.
I'm not sure if that's what he was saying, but I remember you telling me that verbatim, word for word. Like, that's what I do remember. Once that shit was over, that's what you looked at me and said for it. You know, I'm in the mindset like I'm not even trying to hear nothing about no bitch.
Right. Appeal. I mean, we understand what comes out of a sentence is appeal, but God, like right now, you talking about appeal. I just got found guilty.
Like even the panel attorney I asked, like my people in contact with him, he was telling me after I got found guilty, That was the first thing that they told me for, because this is and that's another thing how I can backtrack everything for real. The panel attorney is the one who emailed actually signed all of the evidence for real, like all of the paperwork.
So the panel attorney was still trying to help you.
Yeah. After I got found guilty, like the panel attorney had reached out, told my people, like, man, well, an issue is going to be ineffective citizen counsel. Like, she knows with the evidence that they had in this case, I wasn't supposed to get found guilty.
Not at all. You shouldn't have. I don't think you should have got found guilty for that shit either. After what I read, it ain't no way. Because I want to ask him, like, how though? What, you just took their money and never read this? There's no way that you could have read this and let them people and let that prosecutor work you like that. Ain't no way. Ain't no. He don't have the prosecutor from what you sent me and I read. The prosecutor didn't have nothing to work with. Like, I don't understand it. Just honestly, after reading that and summarizing, I'm like, they ain't even have nothing. How he couldn't prove that with his 30 years plus years of being a trial attorney?
Yeah, that's how blatant she is for, like, to the point where they can't say that they didn't know or they made a mistake or nothing like that. It's too much shit.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. This is tragic. So like, I know this is like a difficult thing, and I know your family was dead, but I was dead, so I stayed with my little brother. You know my brother, he up there with you. I stayed through his whole trial, right? And I was there his sentencing, right? And I remember him. He caught life for first degree murder. He caught life for conspiracy to commit murder. He caught 30 years for first degree assault, because he had first degree attempted murder, but they dropped that to first degree assault because his lawyer proved that a bullet can't ricochet off the ground and hit you. That's not attempted murder, that's an assault. So he got that thrown out. But I was sitting in the courtroom. She said, I sentenced you to life for first degree murder. I sentenced you to life for conspiracy to commit murder. It's a judge. I sentenced you to 30 years. No, I think she said 20 years for first degree assault. 20 years for that, and then 15 years discharging a firearm with limit. So I'm thinking that was it. All right, yo, got life plus 35, double life plus 35. Shorty, she kept going. I said, man, I walked out. I called my mother, like, I think they gave him life plus 60 years. He called and said, man, it was life plus 90 years. I mean, she just kept going with the numbers. You know what I mean? She just kept going with the numbers. Kept going with the numbers. So I don't want you to relive that moment, but we all got to do. Take us, to that day of your sentencing. And the day, what judge was it? My brother got sentenced by Judge Brown.
I had to judge Marcus Shaw.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like I've been felt like I'm not even gonna say not even halfway through, less than halfway. As soon as we got started, where I've been saying like how the judge was like kind of like letting the state do what they wanted to do for it, because my whole time that I was getting postponements like for the better like 2 years. Every time I go to court, they would postpone the shit. So I felt like they just kept doing it like that until they got in front of a judge that they knew they was gonna get away with the shit that they was trying for. Mm-hmm. So I felt like that was the type of judge that I was in front of.
Right. And then so when he did it though, like he like, because the judge told my brother, like, I thought that the victim was going, switch up their statement and no, yo, I'm lying. I got it twisted. With his sentence. It was life for first degree murder. It was life for conspiracy to murder. It was 30 years for first degree attempted murder, then 20 years for first degree assault, and that was that, and then 15 years for the gun. That's how I thought he had double life plus 65, but then he got like 30 more years for a whole bunch of other stuff I couldn't even remember. But go ahead, finish.
Yeah, Yeah, so I think I just got life for the murder. We ran the conspiracy, life for the conspiracy consecutive with the first one. I mean, I think I got like 20 years, life plus 20 for with the handgun charges and everything.
So you just got life plus 20.
They really felt no type. Yeah, I don't think they really felt no type of way about what was going on over there. It's just like for them, Bobby, I get from them was business as usual for like it wasn't nothing like different for them.
Damn, sure. When I heard about it, yo, bro, I was the day that you got sentenced. You know what I'm saying? You know, they came back up, and I mean, everybody was like, it was a sad day. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, it's a sad day any time, but that was a sad day. You get what I'm saying? No, I was at work, and dudes called me up and they told me shit. Like I was dang, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, man. But like I said, man, you know, just connecting back with you and talking to you, man, I feel like you really developed as a man. I feel like you made that transition from a boy to a man. Like you really knowledgeable. You know what I'm saying? You like one of the people that I talk to that's incarcerated that talk with common sense. Cause you in a place where common sense is not common, but you talk with common sense, bro. And I'm really proud of that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying, that you grew as a man in that and that you strongly working on your case. So let me ask you this question. Since you experienced what you experienced with Leslie Stein and you got you back in court, what you doing to get your freedom back? As far as you, we know that you got a lawyer. We'll talk about that, you know, that's doing your post and all that. But what did you do to find out a lot of things that was messed up in your case?
I've been just in tune with a lot of shit where like we got the tablets now, we got the law library and the tablets. So since they gave us that, I've been using the fuck out of that. But even before then, I was going around the law library and getting on that little computer and trying to figure out shit that I didn't know for real. Like that's how I came to find out like dude that was the dude that's involved in my case. That's how I come to find out that they actually talked to this dude before I was even locked up for real and asked him like, man, did you know the person who shot him over there? He told him that he didn't know the person. I found that out through getting on the computer, doing research and shit like that for it. So I just stay in tune with my case. I've been reading a lot of case laws, trying to stay up with the recent shit that's coming out, shit like that. Really.
I like that, bro. I like that, bro. So if you had three things, how old was you when you got locked up?
I was 23 when I got locked up.
All right, so if you had three things to tell your 23-year-old self right now, what would they be?
One thing I would tell him is shit not a game. Because you know how that should be like when a motherfucker like just sleep when it comes to certain shit for it. Like I said before this shit happened to me, I used to hear about stories and shit like that. I told you I had an older homeboy, how he used to move real paranoid, but I never thought no shit like that would happen to me for real. So when it came to shit like that, I just would sleep. I ain't think that type of shit like happened to people for real as close to me. So that's the first thing I probably would tell him is shit not a game.
This you talking to you.
You would be focused up.
I say you talking to you. So you said number two would be focused up.
Yeah, one would be shit not a game. Two would be focused up. And three, I would say value your time more.
That's vicious.
I would be three for me,
it definitely ain't a game. I gotta agree with you with all three of those things. That's that's the number one thing you want to tell them. It definitely ain't a game. They definitely got a flip side to it. You know what I mean? They definitely got a flip side to it. So what's the three main things you learned, man, since you've been incarcerated at North Branch Correctional Facility?
I mean, see, this spot right here that they got me at fucked up. Where I wouldn't even say like what's some of the main shit that I learned since being up here for it, because this shit is like I'm getting my own little space and stay in it for real. Like if I'm not linking up with a dude who really talk about going home, like freedom type shit, I really don't have nothing to talk about for real. This got a lot of purple shit that be going on up here for real. So I wasn't even limited to what I learned since being up here for real. Like this, I don't know. Like I guess I don't know, yo. I can't really answer that. What I learned since I've been born.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's understandable.
I learned the shit that's important and the shit that's not important. I'm gonna go with that.
So, like, you got kids?
I don't know. I ain't no kid.
I mean, I think that was like one of the most easiest part of it was never easy, but that was most of two things I didn't have when I caught my time was a girlfriend and kids. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. So I kind of like took like 50% of my sentence off because you know when you got that going on, that can add to your sentence. So like, what's the mentality of is everybody up there on getting out of prison and you know taking care of their case and trying to get back in society and get this money, you know, get with a woman, get with their family, you know, I'm just saying to be better than they is yesterday. Is that the mentality up there? A lot of dudes trying to get up out of there.
Not really, yo. Like you got, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody that's in this motherfucker want to go home, but when it comes to like a motherfucker really putting in the work, going around the law library, busting the case law down and shit like that, a lot of motherfuckers just really don't be on that shit. So like everybody just be on different shit. Some dudes still caught up in the mentality of wanting to clash with another nigga locked up like them and shit like that for real. Like you got a selected few that's really focused and really trying to do the fuck out.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So, like, how is it important for a dude that catch that charge like you caught, even though you ain't do, you know, what they charge you with? How important it is from day one, as soon as you realize you can't get a bail to get into your case?
I mean, shit, that's a nigga life. And I guess the question to answer to that would be how important your life is to you for real. Like when them people lock you up for them charges like how I got for it, that's not no a long couple years or they just gonna hold you for a minute and let you go. They trying to like they trying to give you life. So it's all important. It's all our niggas feel.
That year that you got found guilty, right? How many dudes, you know, because I know you was on the tier with a lot of dudes though, like, so how many dudes, you know what I mean, that got found guilty also? You know what I mean? Just to give, you know, the audience that's looking at what's going on in these Baltimore City and Baltimore County courthouses, like just around when you got found guilty, how many dudes was coming back with the same story?
I mean, it's crazy for him because around the time that I was fighting this shit, if you had 100 motherfuckers that got locked up for attempt murders and murders and shit, I'ma say 88 of them beat this shit off the rip. The ones who did get found guilty, they was the ones that you just knew was gonna beat this shit. I seen motherfuckers beating amazing shit when I was over there. Like shit that when they tell you what they locked up for, you don't even know how to respond to a nigga like, man, you locked up for all of that? You got all that evidence? Like, that's how it was when I was over there.
It was a different state's attorney office when you was over there.
Now the most was in the office when I got
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I don't even know how her administration overlooked that. You get what I'm saying? That was like most devastating. You know what you like Marilyn Mosley and them because it was like they was paying attention to everything. She was on the news saying if it ain't the evidence ain't right and the paperwork ain't right, I'm getting it out my face. You get what I'm saying? But you know, it was still dudes. You're not the only man, only guy I got that got found guilty. My brother got found guilty under Marilyn Mosley watch administration. So I say that's different, bro. But
crazy.
go ahead, I'm listening.
It's crazy because you had a few judges that was seeing through the bullshit, but because a lot of state attorneys really like wasn't having cases, but you had so much shit going on that they had to reach try their hand.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a lot of judges that you had basically coming back, they wasn't even starting trial. Like the judges were seeing through the bullshit. The state might have tried to come in there half-ass or trying to squeeze the evidence that they knew they weren't supposed to. And the judges was dismissing people's cases. So you definitely had some judges that was doing that shit, but for the most part, I know a lot of motherfuckers who gave their shit back for they gave their shit back under around the time she was in office too. And then the nigga who came after her, that's what Joe was like kind of like running on for real that like she was doing a bad job and majority of her convictions were getting overturned and shit like that. That's what he kind of ran with.
Okay, man, that's tough, man. Man. Like, yo, like it bring like, yo, I'm gonna tell you something. Like, I want to ask you this question. Since you've been in prison, because this is what I'm gonna say for so long, just running around on the V, being in the streets for so long. When I went to prison after a couple years, I gained a consciousness. Was you a conscious individual before your incarceration, or you came more conscious, you know, during your incarceration and while incarcerated?
You said, was I a conscious individual before my incarceration?
Yeah.
I become conscious after I was locked up.
Yeah, that's the question.
I definitely was not conscious before this incarceration.
Yeah, that's real, bro. Because I wasn't even. So you ain't got to elaborate a lot on that because I totally understand that because it was like, yo, you gotta really go, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the streets, your vision blurry. What I say is you sober drunk, meaning that you get so blinded by so much going on. Then when you get to lay down, you start even noticing the freckles on your face because that's how long you actually been really looking in the mirror. You start noticing stuff about you. You start, testing yourself, like figuring words out. That's what I mean by conscious. Like I started being on point and realizing, hold up, wait a minute. Yo, Gotti got a song. I gotta quit fucking with a few dudes. I realized I had to cut a lot of dudes off and really focus on, what I need to focus on. But listen, man, you gonna hit back?
Yeah, I'm in that.
All right, just hit me right back. Yeah, bro really grew up. And that's what, why this story was so important for me to get out there. Bro really grew up. And, as we, when we get into part 3, because he can't get too depth into his case because he's on a post conviction. So he got a lot of things going on in his family and everybody's riding out with him. So he can't get deep. But after reading it, man, I don't see how 12 people convicted this black man and sent this man to prison, man, at 24, 25 years old, man. Took that man away from his mother and his father and his family, man. He said he just had a nephew and he's missing out on life because of mistakes that prosecutors make. And I think that's so wrong that the state, or the feds can make a mistake and they'll just cut you loose and say they sorry and it's over with. And there's no penalty to that. Like, aren't y'all paid professionals? Ain't y'all supposed to go line for line? How's y'all letting things go to the crack and I sit in jail for these amount of years because y'all ain't do your job? Like, come on, bro, that ain't fair. I don't want no money. You know what I mean? You better listen to my old head, my OG, man. Farley, he told you, man, I can't even deal with my family. Y'all lock me up for 30 years, give me some millions of dollars. I can't even be cool with my family because I've been away from them for so long that niggas I met in prison, my family. Like, that's deep. That's deep, bro. That's deep. That's not fair, bro. People I think should get smashed. If you say somebody raped you and they find evidence that that person didn't rape you, you should get smashed. If you go to court and you lie on somebody and get them jammed up for murder, you should get smashed. A rat shouldn't be charged with a crime and allowed to come back to court and testify against me because you know why he's testifying? Because he's getting lingering. The state promised him something. The first thing they asked you, did anybody promise you something? Yeah, they promised him that he was going to go home in a couple years to smash me. Now, I mean, certain things ain't right, bro. I just be saying that, like, bro, how can we be co-defendants, but you can flip on me and get a lesser sentence? Man, I think Donald Trump trying to stop that. He needs to. I'm here, bro. Roll back. Hello? You here?
Yo,
Yeah, I'm back. I was just telling them that I was just telling the people that's tapped in that I feel like that people that go to court, I feel like your co-defendant shouldn't be able to testify against you. I feel like if you go to court and you lie on somebody and they get X amount of time, I feel like you should get that time. If you say that a man raped you or did something like that for women and you find out the DNA don't prove it 20 years later, that person need to go sit in jail for that time that person did, bro. Can't no amount of money explain to you behind that door, bro. I tell you, man, when you put behind that door, I have a homeboy that did 23 years for a crime that he did not commit. Got locked up in '01. That boy just coming home almost 60 days ago. He really didn't commit the crime. He could have been home 5, 6 years earlier, but he wouldn't go to the protection program and tell him that he did it because he like, I can't tell you I did something that I didn't do. And yo did 23 years on 45 years, man. I mean, for a crime. And he home still fighting. He home still fighting. So, like, what's some of the things you want to do, man? Not to get, off top, but what's some of the things you want to do that you didn't get to do when you was home that you want to do when you get home?
well, you know, a nigga, I've been matured since I've been in this motherfucker, so a nigga just think different now for real. Like, on a positive, we were talking about some of this shit for real. Nigga, I definitely want to put like a book or something out. As far as business for my family from the islands, where I want to get like this type of shit started with them with food and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got a couple business ideas for that's mainly what it is for about trying to get some money for my people's in position. That's about it.
So, how do you keep your mom and dad? Because, on the last show, you told us that you came up in a 2-parent household, and a round of applause for that and shout out to that. And you say, what I'm saying? Because, when you go to prison and you meet a lot of dudes' fathers was absent, grew when I was getting a lot of dudes grew up with their grandparents. I'm out that era where they grew up with a parent, but to her, a young guy like you said, I grew up in a 2-parent household. My mother and father was dead. Or how do you keep your mother and father grounded? Because I'm of course I know they miss you. You know what I'm saying? They not used to not having their son for so long though. How do you keep them, not worried? Because I know they're worried about you every day and you being, an hour or two outside the city.
Well, when I do talk to them, I just try to keep them updated as much as possible on the case. Stuff that I'm figuring out, shit that I didn't know before that I had figured out. Shit like that for real. I try to talk to them as much as possible for real.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. So shit like that, yo.
So what a lot of us don't do, and this is a serious question I'm gonna ask you, right? And before I ask you this, I just want to say, looking dead me on the camera, I just want to say sorry to my mother and all of the mothers and fathers and grandmothers and grandfathers that raised some of us in these, urban communities who worked hard and tried to do. I apologize from the bottom of my heart for my ignorance. You know what I'm saying? My ignorance in the community and for all the wrong things that I did in the community. I apologize. I could give y'all a paper trail reason why I was like that because product of a teenage. But when you get older, you don't even want to use that as an excuse, man. I'm just sorry for all the wrong things I done, and I hope Allah had mercy on my soul and on my day of judgment. And that's the honest to God truth. I hope Allah God has mercy on my soul, man. And I could touch Jannah, man. And I'm forgiven for some of the ignorant, negative things I did, man. I want to be forgiven for it. So do you worry about your parents, with that type of sentence?
Yeah, hell yeah. My parents told me for real, so of course I worry about it for my mother and I'm 60, so my father and 80. So hell yeah.
Yeah. So just having an older father like that, your father, relatively a older guy, like what type of wisdoms that come with? Because I grew up in a household with all of my uncles and they was well over their 50s, 60s, and 70s. So that's why I always wanted to be older as a younger guy, but I always knew better a lot of shit. I just choose to be punch drunk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What that was like for you having a father in the household, growing up in a community where that's not like it.
I want to see created that I think it created that balance in the household for real. Like certain shit that I couldn't learn from my mother that my mother probably couldn't teach me. I learned it from my father for real, whether it was direct or indirect, whether it was him hands on teaching me to do some shit, or whether it was just him not teaching me to do some shit. One way or another, I learned from just him being there for me. I think it definitely created balance when it comes to the household.
And that's a good thing, man. Like, what's some of the words of encouragement that you get from your parents? Oh man, they clicked out call. He should go. He calling right back. Hello.
I don't know what's just happening.
Oh, they probably clipped this call because one of them probably do it. But if he call back, just call me right back. All right. Man, they just clipped his call. See, that's what I'm saying. See, he talk about his case and everything, then we start talking about. That's what the jails do. They listen to the calls. By the way, you start talking about your family and positive stuff. Oh, clip this. Niggers are going to be. Forgive my language, you too, but not on here. They're getting too positive, and that's what they want to do. Why the man called clip. All the times we're talking to the man about everything, but then when you start talking about how it is growing up in the house with your father, they listen to your phone calls. They don't like that. They don't like that. When man saying I'm balanced out, when you give credit to an older black man, would be your father, your grandfather. They don't like that. They don't like that. They think all of us just come from the sewer. And then I'm just talking about when you're in Western Maryland, Hagerstown, Cumberland. Man, man. Listen to me, man. Them people smell like wet dogs, man. I'm telling you, ever let your dog in the house in the rain? That's how them people smell coming into that little room they give you that's called the cell. They come in there and rip your stuff down, big old boots that been walking in bad shit and just talk to you like they crazy. They will talk to it could be an inmate worth 100 million. I was incarcerated with a guy named Jackie Hughes. You know what I mean? He said he was the brother of Miss Kathy Hughes, who owned Radio One. He went down with the Panthers for killing a DC police officer on the Maryland line, like a state trooper on the Maryland line. Mr. Jackie Hughes told me he never did it. He said, man, I'm locked up because I ain't tell. This was a man that I seen, man, showing his pictures, real light skinned man, curly hair, man, showing his pictures. And Mr. Jackie went from being buff till we seen him had a hunchback. The hunchback. His sister and his family got so much money. Mr. Jackie Hughes couldn't get out, man. Anybody know him, boy, Mr. Jackie Hughes. When they brought that movie out about the radio station, he was so excited. He said, that's my brother. They telling the story of my family. Yeah. He told me they come up out of Louisiana, man. You know what I'm saying? They mulattoes. He told me that. Yeah. Mr. Jackie Hughes, and a lot of people don't know about Mr. Jackie Hughes is because their family is kind of big, so they kind of, but they took care of him. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Jackie Hughes is like the first dude I seen with them bandos on his books, them bandy wops, and he wasn't in the shop. Mr. Jackie Hughes, and I don't know was he in the shop when he was younger, but he been locked up so long that he was in the shop. You know what I'm saying? He was in the shop. You know what I mean? I don't know. Excuse me. He was locked up so long. I don't know if he was in the shop for 20 years and stopped because he had 30 some years in when I met him. You get what I'm saying? The boy been locked up since the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, 77. You get what I'm saying? I met the boy back in '07, 87, 90. Yeah, boy had like 30 years in. If he still, and he was on a medical tier because his health start taking a toll on him. Old guys like that, they get on a medical tier where they ain't got no problems. Bro, calling back. Hello.
Man.
Yeah, he back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, man, I think they clipped it because you started talking about the strong black man and the household and stuff, and they listen. They say not tonight. Yeah, enough with that clip. They be listening to the calls.
Yeah, you know what's up, yo.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I was just telling your sister. Like all the stuff we talked about now, man, start talking about positive things. They want to clip the call. They couldn't take it, man. They couldn't take it. But I used to always talk about that too. Like when I was locked up, like, man, you better watch what you say because they gonna clip the call. Every time you start talking about businesses and doing certain stuff, they hang up the phone on you. You know what I mean? And we had put in things that we was the reason why they when I was locked up, it was called T-Netics. So we was the reason why T-Netics started giving you, if you hang up the phone, they wouldn't take all your money. You know what I mean? Back when they first started, boy, you hang up in the middle phone call, that was $11 clip. It's over. They charging you the whole thing. Yeah, hell yeah. I was locked up, boy, when you was up Western Maryland, Cumberland's or Hagerstown was $11 and change the call, bro. Yep, and I was in there when they changed it to all calls 80 cents or 90 cents or something. Like I think they changed it, all calls was $1 or something or 50 cents. If it was local, it was 50 cents. I forgot. I just know it was way better than 11. So we used to put $50 on the phone back when I first got locked up in the early 2000s. You only call your peoples once a week. I'm just telling you, unless they had money on the phone, you wasn't calling your people. I mean, it was dudes using the phone every day because they had girls, and them girls was just imagine, dudes do 10 to 15 clips. Just imagine $11.60 a clip. So that clip shit stop. I had my people once a week. Hey, hold up, man. I ain't doing this. That'll hurt your bag. You had to put $50 on the phone with $60. So so what's some of the things that you've been reading since you've been incarcerated? Because we know when we get into the part 3 thing, so I just want to get into some of the things that you've been reading, because you told us you read Rich Dad Poor Dad. You told us you read some other books, but when I was on, I caught the cheat code that you got some powerful books in there from one of the good brothers that's out here scribing, who did 20 years in prison, the boy Wallo Peoples. You know what I mean? Everybody know him as Wallo 276. What's some of the things that you learned from reading them Wallo books?
I mean, one thing I learned, I just seen how a nigga, when I was reading this, I just get like how a nigga is locked up in that 20 years real, and you came home, had some shit in his mind, like basically like nigga was committed to not being fucked up, like not being some shit when you get in the street. He came out there and definitely did that shit for real, like.
Yo, he did that. I met him.
What I get when I read the Yorkwood, when I read the Yorkwood, it's probably like the same shit, like how I'm probably going to do. When York probably got locked up, he probably ain't really had like too much of his mind when he got locked up and learned a lot of shit when he was in there. But now that the nigga back out, he trying to apply some of the shit that he learned while he was in there in life for real to help him get where he needs to be type shit.
Yeah, he a multi-millionaire now, all types of deals. See, the head of YouTube. I had the privilege of meeting them, for the first time at YouTube Avenues. It was a thing called YouTube Avenues. They had that head in Baltimore. I met him, man. Wallo solid. You know what I'm saying? He's solid. And what he did was he came home with nothing. You know what I'm saying? And you know the haters got some reasons, but he came home with nothing, bro. And he just used his mouthpiece to make him a multi-millionaire. He just came home telling the truth on the camera in the rain, sleet, hell, snow, and it worked out for him. So now everybody want him to talk for him. You know what I mean? Show up. Hey, show Boog. So after Leslie told you that, right? So and
Yeah.
now you go, you got your time, you got sentence. Now you up there, and part three we're gonna get into that. But now when you go to court, you said you got some things in court. So are you going to court with a public defender, or you going to court with a new defense team?
What you mean?
You going to court with a panel attorney this time, or you got a whole new defense team? You got a new lawyer. What's your representations out the public defender office, pro bono, or paid attorney?
I'm fucking with Mark Dion firm. I got the lady Allison Levine that's on the case now.
Yes, God. Hey, I wanted you to say that because I want to say to everybody, shout out to Mark Zion, Jason, Alex, and them over at Rolling Walk and Mark Zion Law Firm. They do good business over there and they fight for you, bro. Long as you pay them their money. Allison want their money. They want their money, but they kind of fight. Hey, I'm going to tell you what Mark told me. My last case in 2018, I had Mark Zion for my violation. He walked in that courtroom. He told me, hey, man, 2 things you got going today. I said, what? Your PO in your corner and I'm your lawyer. I said, hey, if that's what I got going for me, then I'm okay. Man, hey, man, Mark told me that. I walked out of there without that 8 years. I tell you that much, man. So you got a strong defense team.
If I would have went and hollered at them, I would not be in this. And it's crazy for him because, like, I don't like blame, even though what happened in the courtroom was some fucked up shit. I'm trying to get into this rhythm of not blaming my failures on somebody else. So
okay.
Even though somebody came in there and put me in somebody else's fucking midst, I still be looking at what I could have did different to change that shit for. That's one of the things I can think about for like, man, if I would have went this way, if I would have had that couple extra dollars and I would have went this way, I wouldn't be in this bitch right now, yo.
Yeah, I had to recommend some people. Hey, I don't know who you think you gonna go get, but you better go down there and see Marky Mark. That's what I call him Marky Mark. Well, you better go see Marky Mark. Marky Mark and them. Give them their paper. They come to work for you. I think he the best attorney in Baltimore. You ask me. I told you, but I tell anybody. Even though I'm far fetched from that trouble, but if I do, it's Mark Zion. Like, there's no way, it ain't around it.
Everybody that I seen, I was in free trial fighting my shit. Everybody that I seen go get them niggas was beating this shit.
Yeah, they come to fight.
Any of the 3 out the first.
Yeah, they come to fight. I don't even think Mark won't take the case if he can't guarantee you. No lawyer supposed to guarantee you nothing, but if he can't let you know that he come to work, you know what I mean? You pay him his money, he come to work. I honestly know that. They come to work, and that's a beautiful thing, man. So I'm happy that you got a good, and you feel confidence with them. You feel confident with them, right?
Fuck yeah, listen, the shit that I'm laying my eyes on that I didn't know before, that shit crazy that they catching that shit, yo. Like,
yeah, I seen it.
Yeah.
No, Mark Zion is in downtown Baltimore. The Mark Zion office still downtown, right? St. Paul Street.
I think they might have moved out Towson.
Oh, all right, that's what somebody just said. Charlene just says he out Towson. He out Towson now. He said he think they moved out Towson. That's how long ago I had a case. The boy was on St. Paul Street. You know what I mean? The boy was on St. Paul Street.
This moved out this year, I want to think.
You say this year? I gotta ask my man because he ain't been in no trouble, but they have a good relationship. I gotta ask him. I'm glad, man. I like what you said with that. I'm glad you're confident with your attorney, so you don't feel like they're gonna throw you. You feel like they got your best interest at heart. You feel like they're trying to bring you home.
Yeah, I mean, it's just me going through the process. Like, I've been fucked over by one before, so I know. I'm not saying that the one I got now with trials and shit like that is just the way I'm moving. I'm not even allowing for that door like to stay open for real. Like I be so into my shit. Like you can't just tell me. Like at first when I was going to trial, the lawyer could just tell me, "Oh yeah, you ain't got nothing to worry about. We're going there. I'm going
Yeah,
through this.
hell no.
You can't just tell me. You gotta show me some shit now.
Yeah.
Like I already been through that.
Yeah, that's vicious. I ain't gonna hold you. That's vicious. You got that team right there. You know what I mean? They come to fight. You know what I'm saying? They come to fight. You know what I mean? It's a few of them that's out here kind of fight. But me personally, from my own personal experience, I like to speak from my own personal experience. When I used the man both times, I had Jason for a bail review. They had me locked up for like 45 days with a no bail, man. I got Jason, man. Jason straight. I mean, $75,000 bail. I bailed out of that joint. You heard me. So every time I walked in that office and used them people, bro, you know what I mean? They did their job and I came out, you know what I'm saying, on top, whereas though I have no complaints about that. And I'm proud that, you retained that defense team. And like you said, one thing that he said, and I'm gonna get him to repeat it. He said, "Oh no, I mean they cool, and I like what they doing, but I'm not putting my whole faith on them. I'm going in there to fight with them, not them just fighting for me." And I like that. You know what I mean? He's going in there to fight with them. Like, nah, we together. It ain't me sitting on the bench and let you do the talk. No, sir. And a lot of dudes got to pay attention to that. A lot of dudes got to pay attention to that, man. So we gonna get into that in part 3 when you think you be back. But like how long you think though? Like, I don't even want you to answer that yet. We gonna keep on the edge for that. So listen, man, what were some of the things, yo? Because I want to double back into like part 1 a little bit. Like, what's some of the things that you like to do before you got booked, bro? Like, what's some of the things that you like that you gonna get back into when you get home?
I've been gone for a minute, so I definitely gotta catch back up, like as far as with any type of business, get my finances shit together like that. But I've been gone from the time for so long, bro. Like that's one of the main things that I really want to do for it. That's why I really want to put my time and energy at, bro. Like my family doing it. So
I like that.
That's where my mind really gets.
I like that. My man say he put his time into his family. That's like that. And that's what, one guy I talked to, my man Hollywood, he say first thing he want to do is get therapy. My man with 23 years, he said first thing before he even start working, he want to get therapy. You get what I'm saying? So, and you saying the first thing you want, because your therapy might be, connecting with your family. My man came home, we got his family. Unfortunately, Hollywood lost his mother and father, incarcerated for the last 26 years. I mean, it's a 20. Yeah, he about to be. He got locked up in 98, so he had 27 years. So it's just different things, man. But I really appreciate you for tapping in, man. And in part 3, which probably be next Monday or so, or I don't know, probably the end of the week. We don't know. Me and Boo's gonna make that date for y'all, but it's information will be pinned up on here. So if you want to write, you want to send poems, you want to send any type of law, you want to send if you want to just be a real person and have a real conversation with the man, I will be putting this information up there so y'all can write him and you can talk to him, you can get up with him, you get what I'm saying, you can learn something. Charlene, I think it'd be a good person, to talk to because you got a son. It's a person that's in the comment box. She got a son. He's doing 103 years. God almighty, Charlene. That's tough. Whew. They might hang from me. Listen, I'm gonna say this though, Boogs, right? And when people see me laugh or something, us dudes that been through a lot, right? And been in out the door, you see it a lot. Like a person that asks you, how the hell can you smile in North Branch when everybody up there got an elbow? But it's just the unwritten line. When you come from the ghetto, man, you just gotta keep a smile on your face to keep from crying. So being as though I've been incarcerated numerous of times and I know how I feel, man, it's just like when I'm just smirking, it just ain't a smirk. It's just like, man, I'm thank God that I made it out of there, bro. Like, cause your peoples be thinking, man, this is some roller coaster, bro. I seen men die in prison, not just because of a stabbing, just because the staff won't take care of you. They won't get you medical attention. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can OD. Like, they won't let you die.
I'm in this motherfucker. Like, I didn't see niggas get stabbed. I done seen niggas OD. I done seen a nigga have an asthma attack. And these people so fucked up, they thinking a nigga put some shit in them. They done gave a nigga Narcan because the nigga having an asthma attack. I done seen some shit since I've been up with it.
My nigga, I ain't never hear. She said she did 6 years in the feds. Yo, I'm glad, bro. Listen, Narcan for asthma attack is crazy work.
I mean, that's why
Bro.
when he come home, he got to get therapy. I feel like that's mandatory. Like, you leaving the spot like this, it's mandatory that you get therapy for it because this shit not normal. And this shit is fucking niggas up as the time goes by. So you got to get therapy to readjust, to learn how to be around regular people again because you ain't with all the fucked up motherfuckers. You always got to be on guard and shit like that. When you get back out in society, not to say that you don't got to be on guard, but everybody is not trying to do something to you.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's not like in the family don't got to be the same like how it was in the day.
Yeah. He said, she said, my husband in the feds right now, they paying for. Oh no, yeah. He said they paying for guys to become men. What do you think about them passing the law? Trump won't kill that. But what do you think about them saying? Did y'all heard about that they letting guys that want to be, whole women be women in prison? They get the surgery, and the prison pay for it. The taxpayers.
I mean, my family from the islands, bro. My outlook on that pretty, bro. Like, I don't think it's proper.
Say that again.
I said, my family is from the islands, for real. So, when it comes to that type of stuff, like that whole outlook, I don't think that is proper.
Oh no, I don't think it's my family come from Ricestown Road, nigga. And you better not. You try to slide that in. You say your family from the artisan. You buy my books. You buy my you no body boys around, huh? No body man around, huh? No, that's true. They don't go for that on the islands. They don't. I'm not going on the islands. Ain't you body man? No. Hey, Boo, why you try to slide that in though? My family from the island, so we don't even think like that.
You hit me with the question, you asked me like, well, what I think about it,
I wasn't even raised like that, Hey, what man say? I'm gonna do that, yo. I'm gonna tell him, I was raised up on Ricestown Road with a lot of people from the islands, so we don't really get down like that. I gotta use that one, bro. My man, yo, took yourself out the American way. Yo, say, my people from the islands. Damn, bro, it's that rough from being over here. I think that's the most nastiest, ignorant. They put PlayStation, Xboxes, tablets. Now they saying a man could be a woman in prison. Come on, they trying to make some people very, very comfortable in there. I ain't one of them. You know what I mean? I ain't one of them, Jack.
That's what just let you know where they mind that, man. Like, one thing about that politics shit, to be a politician, you got to be corrupt in some type of way. So when you go have one side saying that that's not what they want, you're going to have the opposite side saying that that's what we want. That's going to be the key when it comes to internet.
They get their hair removal. Like, come on, man. I ain't going to lie to you, bro. Some of the stuff, like, man, they told me over Cumberland they got a meth thing. You could get methadone. Like, come on, yeah. Like, y'all. Like, man.
I think that's across the street.
Yeah, they told me right across the street from you. Yeah, they say you can get methadone. They said all you gotta do is tell them you was getting high on the street. I'm listening.
Yeah, in the jails, I think that's right across the street. I think they got it over there where I guess when the niggas come in, they tell them that they was using on the street. and they started giving the shit.
Permanently or just for a certain amount of time?
I'm not sure how it works. I mean, I think they might start off giving you a certain amount, then they might bump it down as you go, but that's what the fuck is going on in this.
Jesus Christ.
I'm in, they're not doing it yet. But I hear right across the street they're doing this shit.
Yeah, I heard they doing it in WCI. I heard that, man. I heard that, like, you know, you could come in there and tell them you gotta have, and they hit you with the meth or the Suboxones. You know, I said, man, come on. She said they just want them scripts. They just want them scripts. I ain't gonna lie, boy. With a certain amount of time, I might sign up for the script line. Nigga say shit, fuck it, bro.
They really worried about coming home and how to get their time back and shit like that, where they just go boot it up and do their little time.
No, I ain't fuck that, bro. I can't do it, bro, because I have to say knowledge is key. Like, I mean, you know, me just being a kid coming up, outside was mandatory to me, so it was like I ain't really grow up like a lot of, you know, our era. We ain't grow up with the game. Like, the game was for when you went in the house. We ain't really just go in no house and sit in there all day and just play no game. We wasn't even like that. Like, after playing the game for a couple hours, we just had to go outside. That was our life, outside. Everything was outside. If the game was on the front porch outside, then we'd be right there. But just staying in the house, I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? As I get older, I'm more on that tip now. But I can't do it. You know what I mean? Sit in the house. That's like being booked to me. Just sitting in the house all day. I can't handle it. I can't. Hey, you ever find that guy I told you I wanted you to look out for me?
What was his name?
Nicholas Browning.
No, I couldn't remember the name. I know you telling me about other dude. I couldn't remember that name.
Yeah, Nicholas Browning, man. Yeah, Nicholas Brown. I know you North Branch because I look it up and I tell them the people want him on one of these phone calls. You know what I mean? Just tell him about it, bro. You definitely want him because I was incarcerated with him, and I'll put y'all down with it. What he locked up for. I'll give y'all a little bit of that before we get out of here. So, hey, Boog. So, anything you want to tell the people before you get out of here? Anything you want them to know about you before we get into part 3? For you to just really summer up the whole story in a nutshell and just tell them everything. You know what I mean? Just we gonna clean up everything we didn't do on part 1 and part 2 and 3. And I told y'all this information will be up there. So if you want to write them, send books, or just, you know what I mean, just somebody to talk to that's knowledgeable. You might have a son or a daughter in that situation. They might be ready to go to trial. This brother is want to get a knowledge because the whole thing is to save the youth. Or it's not even about. It's always about the youth and it's always about the community. But the main thing is we just want to raise awareness because somebody's in his same situation now, and somebody probably got that same lawyer that's throwing them right now. Somebody's kid is in trial tomorrow, so we just want to raise awareness. Anything you want to say, you know what I mean? Lead the people with some encouragement, man. Let them hear the real you right now.
Man, well, you know, I definitely want to shout the people out for rocking, for staying tuned in for real. For it. That's about it for real, man. I know it was a lot of shit that we really can't get into for real. You know, the heavy shot. I really want to get into it for real because that's just what I want the people to hear for real. But there's a lot of shit that we couldn't really get into for real. As far as I got the legal situation pending, I got the legal case pending or whatever. So we couldn't really get into the heavy shit for real. But I definitely appreciate them damn.
Yeah, hell yeah. But you know, I mean, you could, you know what I'm saying? We'll rehearse it. You get what I'm saying? Little things that you kind of like want to put in the public eye, we'll put in the public eye. But still, we want to keep, you know, we want to keep your defense sealed until you blow them up in that courtroom. That's just important. We want to keep that. We want to keep that sealed. But it's a little ways that you can straddle the fence and get some type of awareness out here. And then, you know what I'm saying? We'll figure that out. we'll figure that out, man. But 100%, man, I appreciate you and I love these joints, man. And like I said, man, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, man. This part two, the Malcolm Jordan story. And this brother is incarcerated, serving a life plus 20 years sentence for something that he didn't do. And do he sound bitter? Do he sound naive? Is he on here cussing and saying F the world and this and that? No. And then in some of these jail calls, these prison calls, excuse me, I'm not doing no jail calls, I'm doing strictly prison calls. It's a difference between jail and prison. Some of these dudes might get on here and go off the meat rack because they mad, they got upset, and they feel like this platform might be the only way they can get their voice out. So some dudes is mad that they locked up, bro. Some dudes ain't gonna talk easy like this, man. Some dudes gonna say F the judge, F the security, F this jail, F everything. You got some dudes that's really pissed off in there, Jack. For real. Got some savages in there that really wanted to join. So, man, you think when you come home, you gonna get a wife and kids? You want to get married when you come home?
I don't know about that. My mental head, that's just like I'm not there for it. Got a lot of shit that I need to do for real. That's not priority on the list.
I mean, I understand, man. You know, I was like that when I first came home, but I ain't gonna lie, man. That's like the jerk mixed with the curry sauce, Jack. You just need it in your life. You need it in your life with the white meat, bro, with the beans and rice and the plantain. It all go together, boys. You know that. It goes together and it's good together. So, so it's good together. So the wife and the kids and the family thing, it's like your jerk chicken with a little curry sauce on it, your beans and rice, your cabbage, and your plantain. That's how it is. That's the wife and kids. It's a good meal fixed up. You know how your mother put that good food on the plate and it all look good together? That's the family thing. So you gotta look at the family thing like a good plate. You know what I'm saying? You don't eat no bad plates of food. We don't eat that, but the good things we eat there, and I think that's the wife and kids. You can still be playing push P with a wife and kids, bro. I promise you can. The way things going out here, man, you know, 3 girls will let you marry them at the same time and all be posting you on the net and live together. But that's 2 times doing it. It's a little different out here, baby.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
It's a little different out here, boo. So you might want to look into that. You know what I mean? But man, look, bro, I appreciate you, man. Y'all, listen, man. Y'all be on the lookout for the day Monday. Yeah, day Monday. Next Monday, 3 dropping. That's what we're going, 3 drop. And then we might just do a recap joint. So y'all gonna be hearing from my man, and y'all gonna be hearing from different man. Boogs, tell him shout out before you get out of here, man. You got 30 seconds.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
Say it again.
I say you got 30 seconds. Any shout outs? Hood, neighborhood, Mom Dukes, anybody? You want to shout out?
Hey, you already know the guys, the fans, everybody that was tuned in with us. I definitely appreciate it.
Yes.
Tuned in for part 3.
Yes. Tune in for part 3, man. No fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness. Anything you say can and will be used against you on the internet. Prison Calls, Raw Dope Podcast, the Malcolm Jordan story. Tap in. Let's go. Run his numbers up. Run it up. Run it up. Run it up.